The following program was recorded at ARC Advisory Group's annual World Industry Forum in Orlando, Florida. I'm pleased to welcome Editor-in-Chief of Supply Chain Brain, Russell Goodman. Hello.
Anti-Counterfeiting and Brand Protection. Here to explore that topic with us today is Janice Abel, Principal Consultant, ARC Advisory Group. Janice, welcome.
Thank you, Russ.
Janice, I know that ARC has been quite active in researching anti-counterfeiting and brand protection. Tell us about your study. Tell us what the research has been up to.
Well, ARC has done a number of reports. We did a study, worldwide outlook study. We did a strategy report, and we did a best practice, as well as numerous other reports on anti-counterfeiting. They covered the suppliers, the manufacturers, and other organizations, and we interviewed and we received briefings on a lot of their different technologies and what they're doing to prevent counterfeiting in their organizations.
I'm curious about the areas and the technologies that were covered. What are they?
Well, we covered some of the technologies that were covered included human-readable technologies. Examples would be the inks or the way that the text is printed, even readable codes on the package, as well as machine readable, which is readable by a machine, like an RFID, for example, or a QR code or a 3D code, as well as other types of technologies that are read by authenticators, like lasers, DNA, Raman technology. And we also included the track and trace software that's required to integrate all of the information, and that includes the serialization and the e-pedigree to incorporate into the supply chain.
Janice, I'd like to drill down just a bit, into the study and the best practice report. What was the focus of those?
The focus of the best practice and the study was on technologies as well as the products, type of products that are recalls, protecting brands, and even looking at items that are diverted from the legitimate supply chain, and also products that have incorrect labels on them. As well as we looked at the manufacturers, suppliers, and what they're doing to deter counterfeits.
From here on out, I want to use ABP because I know that ARC has developed this term for anti-counterfeiting and brand protection. So in talking about ABP, what industries are most subject to this particular problem?
Well, it's pretty much all industries. Pretty much, it's very pervasive. Almost no industry is immune from counterfeiting. And almost any brand product could be counterfeited. In some of the industries that you would think of is the pharmaceutical, the food, electronics, medical devices, aerospace, and even automotive. And these are particularly frightening because some of these will definitely affect the public's health and safety.
For manufacturers that are interested in combating counterfeiting, what are the major challenges that they're going to face?
The major challenge is staying one step ahead of the counterfeiters. And the issue is that this is organized crime. It's not a simple problem to solve. And these people are sometimes expert printers or expert at different technologies, and they're quite sophisticated, these groups of organized crimes.
For companies that are working on addressing counterfeiting, should they be concerned also about the brand or about the product?
They need to be concerned about the brand, but the issue is that the damage that the public hears when they hear that this company is looking at these counterfeiters, it's an issue because sometimes they won't buy that brand, but the public needs to look at it more positively, that this company is trying to tighten their supply chain because they want to protect the public that are using their products. And I think that's the issue. So I think that we need to promote it to the public as a positive thing, not a negative for their brand.
Well, let's get right to it then. How does one stop counterfeits?
Well, there's no one way to stop counterfeiters. It's really a multi-faceted approach, and there's no one technology. A lot of people will say, well, what's the best technology? Well, you can't say that a cell phone or QR barcodes or the track and trace software is the best technology to use. You have to look at the product, the organization, the culture, the geography, the cost. There's a whole number of issues to look at. And also you need to look at the supply chain and the complexities of the supply chain.
If I ask you what are the best technologies or the best strategies for combating this problem, Is it going to be the same answer? It depends?
Yeah, again, it depends. You don't have to look at the product. You don't have to look at the geographical location, the company, how things are organized, and also other methodologies and techniques and the way it's communicated to the public, throughout the organization. Companies have to have strategies for dealing with all of this.
Final question, Janice. What takeaway, what message do you want to leave with the viewers here about ABP?
Well, I think it's a very, very important issue. I think companies need to tighten their supply chains. I think the most important thing is that there's organizations and suppliers that can help them to look at their supply chain, have a much more collaborative supply chain, as well as look at the government agencies that can help them fix their supply chain. For example, the U.S. Homeland Security Intellectual Property Rights Center will coordinate with companies to help them with their supply chain and make it more collaborative.
We'll tighten up the supply chain. Good advice, Janice. Thank you for meeting with us today.
Thank you very much.
Janice Abel, ARC Advisory Group, speaking with us today about combating counterfeiting and brand protection. Thank you for watching.